outside of just the device hardware obviously being very different, is that we're still solely gesture-based, right? So you're still using the same commands, kind of that peek over to the hub, right? That same flow that you see on the Z10, obviously being on this form factor too. Now, you'll notice that obviously my hub has got all of the integrated accounts that I expect, whether it's BBM, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Now, a couple of the unique things we put on this this device specifically is, this is the first time we're using an OLED display. So what we've applied is kind of the dark theme of BlackBerry 10. And I'll give you an example here in the calendar. Again, you can see more of the black with white text to obviously leverage the display, right? So this not only benefits in terms of the power saving, the battery performance you get, but also is naturally better to look at because the blacks really pop on an OLED display. Yeah. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that whilst we have the same application set as the Z10, we still also support up to 8 applications running. So we still provide you active frames that you can kind of see on each screen, and then still the ability to toggle between a number of applications. Now, the thing that really stands out with a physical keyboard device is how do we enhance the shortcuts, right? How do we make it easier to access your hub or your communications? Well, we built this feature called Type and Go, which obviously we demonstrated the keynote the other day, which is this ability to just start typing an action. Now this action could be, as I've chosen here, email, but it could be BBM, it could be text, it could be tweets, it could be Facebook. The idea being that you type an action and then you think of the person that you want to perform that action with, right? So if you want to email Nigel as an example, right? You can see that we narrow that down, we provide that individual's contact info. Now you've still got the extended search, so remember all of this has been integrated into universal search. So whilst you're typing email Nigel, you could still go off to the internet and search that term. But you now see an action, and all you're doing is tapping on this and you're going straight into that email, right? Set up, ready to go. So imagine, especially with things like BBM, which is all about being real time, getting back to someone quickly. If I want to BBM, Johan, or I want to BBM Alex, or whoever it is, I just BBM, put the name, and I'm straight into the chat. And actually, the beauty of this is my fingers will never leave the keyboard because I'm just continuously typing. So I can start the action, I can then move into the chat, keep typing, and hit send. So it's a really, really fast way of using shortcuts. And that's one of the new features of the Q10. A couple other things to point out. Naturally, in terms of the camera performance, it's obviously both front and rear camera, just like the Z10. From a spec perspective, and I'm sure our PR team can provide that, but we're pretty much the same infrastructure. The two differences on the Q10 is the OLED display, as I mentioned, and the battery. So we've actually upped the battery capacity, and this has gone from an 1800 milliamp battery, which is the Z10, to a 2100 milliamp battery. So it's actually our largest battery today. Again, coupled with a smaller yet more powerful OLED display, we're actually looking at this being an even more impressive battery life performance on a BlackBerry 10 device. So that's kind of the run through of some of the basics and things that stand out for Q10. On top of that, when it comes to the browser, I'm sure you guys have spent a lot of time on various HTML5 tests and kind of seen some of the performances that we kind of have. Now, it still scores pretty well. Let's see where we're at. So again, you can see that from a browser perspective, we're doing pretty well. The other one I'd like to show is kind of the Get User Media. Is that exploding camera? That looks good. Let's try that. Exploding head, exploding whale, exploding. No, there you go. So, wait, it's not working. Alright, that looks down. Anyway. Again, the entire thing is gesture-based, and one of the things you'll notice if you use this device is it's still very easy to move from the physical keyboard to the touchscreen. A lot of people are thinking that because we've got a keyboard, you're going to kind of be reaching as you're typing, but you'll notice the screen actually runs all the way down to the very edge. And then on top of that, this keyboard is straight. So that's actually allowed us to get keys 3% larger than previous BlackBerry. So it's actually our largest keyboard today. And we've also managed to run the keys actually right to the edge of the device. So if you look at a Bold 9900 or a previous physical keyboard product, you'll notice that there's always a little inlay. These keys are actually running right to the edge of this. And then just from the back of the device, a couple of things we've done on the back door. So this is a very unique material that's exclusive to this product. It's a glass weave finish, so it's very, very strong. It's actually twice as strong as plastic. And it's kind of a single cut out of a single sheet. So it is very durable, long-lasting, and obviously has a very beautiful finish as well. And then in terms of support as you rest the device, we actually put a raised fret at the top here, stainless steel fret, which means that whenever you put it on the table, you're kind of not scratching the back of the device. So again, it gives it that better durability. And that's kind of a run-through of some of the key things of the Q10 and some of the unique elements there. Are there any questions?